The Dusty Futon Podcast is a product of the Dusty Futon LLC and Dusty Futon Productions. Thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe to get all the newest episodes. You can find out how and share with your friends at www.dustyfuton.com. Welcome back. It's time for another episode of the Dusty Futon. This time we have something brand new for you. We've got fully electric guitars plugged right in. K Prouty is a local alternative metal instrumental band, and instead of bringing us 3 fully produced tracks, he brought a full rig and his bass player and wife to play over some prepared backing tracks. Pretty different, huh? It was a bit of an engineering feat to make sure this gets accomplished, but we eventually figured it all out. So why don't we go ahead and plug in and take a listen to K Prouty. That's so awesome. You know, that's actually really low, so hold on.
I can't. Oh, you're mic'd.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Now you can hear us.
Hi. How are you guys doing today?
Perfect. She's got a
Super
beautiful voice,
fantastic.
doesn't she?
She does.
What's your name?
Alyssa.
Alyssa. Nice. I like that name. I got a cousin named Alyssa.
You do? It's a very pretty name.
Yeah.
Very pretty lady.
So you're the bass player for K Prouty?
Yes, I am.
Is that pronounced right? K Prouty?
Mm-hmm.
And the K in K Prouty is right now tuning up your bass.
Yep.
It's a silent K.
It's a silent K. It's a Prouty.
I don't like it.
Oh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's great.
Yes.
So let's talk a bit first. You guys got your axes on.
Yeah, they do.
So we just met Alyssa,
Yes, we did.
and
Nice
right
to meet
there,
you.
nice to meet you.
Pleasure.
And then we've got K Prouty himself. That's Ken.
That's correct.
Kenneth.
It's Kenneth.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. Everything's good.
All right, let's
Can't
should have done a
complain.
better mic check with you
Nice.
before. Yeah.
The wonderful world of Kenneth.
Yep. So welcome to the Dusty Futon. You guys
Thank
actually
you.
brought electrified instruments, which is the first for us. We've had acoustic performances, but this dude walks in with a full rig, and I'm like, holy crap.
Pedalboard and all
So,
that.
and you're rocking an Ibanez Dio? Or
Thing's beautiful.
It's Geo.
Geo.
I mean, it's
know why I said
honestly,
Dio.
to be honest, like a lot of times I get low end guitars, but this one it was like the inlays and everything. And what I've always done is customized everything from there, so that way if it ever went wrong, I'm not really worried about the guitar breaking.
Right.
Got it.
But everything else is customed out. So
That's awesome.
So like even on the fretboard, I've scalloped it, and so you're kind of making it concave so you get better action on the strings.
I've unmuted your guitar now, so it'll make noise.
Yeah, well, I wasn't playing, but you know,
You
and
look
it's
like you were.
it's just when you play a normal neck and it's not scalloped, every time you hit the strings, the wood is pushing against your fingers, so
Yeah.
you'll bend it, and then it goes.
Yeah.
And when
Yeah.
you scallop it,
Tricks
Nice.
of the trade.
that was one of those goofy.
So real quick, how long have you been playing guitar? Because you've got I can see the knowledge, and you're just trying to formulate things
Yeah.
right now. How long have you been playing? Since birth? Did you come out with a guitar in your hand?
Pretty much. 30 years.
It's the funny thing is, probably about
25.
15, 20 years, maybe.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you said you started when you were about 12, right?
No,
Or
18.
Oh, never mind.
What got you into playing?
The funny thing is, I never started off to be a guitar player. I only picked up a guitar because I sang and wrote songs. And eventually I realized I should just shut up and play. So,
Yeah.
so I mean, all my bands until this last incarnation that we're kind of working on was always like vocal, and I'd play like rock riffs, give you a little something here.
Yeah.
I like that. Was hiding. Even see the beanie's here. I'm wearing a beanie not because I'm bald, but I'm protecting myself.
Good idea around here.
As Big John knocks over the mic.
Well, I have a tendency to do that. Talk about cheap equipment, so stuff's reliable too.
So, we were doing like kind of stuff like that, a little heavier.
Yeah.
But it was always vocal based, and I mean, I had good fun with it, and just sometime this year, I don't know, I was just like, let's see what will happen if I only try to do instrumentals, and
yeah.
Switch it up a little bit.
yeah, and it works, I guess.
And so you've got Alyssa next to you.
Hi.
Yes.
Now,
With her
is that like your other half?
Yeah.
The better half.
The better half? Of course.
We've been married for
Almost 20 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You put up with this passion of his for that long.
He's pretty dedicated. Yeah, I think he's really talented. So it's nice that we're actually doing something together now. He's been playing with other people, so it's nice to be a part of it now.
Have you always played the bass, Alyssa?
I think it was 10 years ago. No. The answer is no.
Short answer, no.
There you have it.
10 years ago, we played together.
That's a funny story.
Yeah.
Do tell.
I'm actually an art. I paint.
Okay.
So that's my outlet. So 10 years ago, we did play together for about a year, and then we did one show.
Okay.
And then we have a son, so I just was busy doing that. And now that he's older and grown up, basically, we've started up again. So the answer is no. This is very new
And
for me.
We've actually done like a couple different things. Like we started playing, like she said, and she actually played a rock show with me, and this guy was a longtime drummer for me, and
was fun.
it wasn't really her thing at the moment.
Right.
And then later we kind of did like an acoustic little duo thing and did a bunch of
Super cool.
recording and singing together and whatnot, and then
That's
and that
true.
was
I
it.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
Awesome.
let's go ahead and do
Awesome.
what we do here, and we're going to do this a little differently because you brought your axes, but you also gave me some backing tracks.
Yes.
Now, did you write and perform these, or put these in the
Yeah.
computer?
Yeah, everything is
Produced by
it's
you.
all originals, and yeah.
Cool.
So
Which one do you want to start with?
let's just do Faster.
Sure.
It's called Faster My Love, and this is probably the oldest one, and it was something I did in probably 2011,
Okay.
and it was just like a little piece that I had on a record that I did.
Okay.
And when I started this thing, I kind of was like listening to it and playing it a lot, and I just thought, we can do something with this more. So the only parts that were there was basically the main riff, and that was it. And it just kind of repeated, and it just faded off.
Yeah.
And so then I built the whole rest of the song to it, and we just been having a lot of fun playing it. So
That's awesome.
it's
Yeah.
really
Cool.
based off of a lot of classical style stuff. So anyway,
All right, so we're going to play this backing track, which is called Faster My Love, and you guys are going to play over it.
The finger speed amazes me. It's just coming off. know, right? They complement each other quite well.
They do work well.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nicely done. Very nice. I like that.
Y'all make a great team.
Okay, thank you.
So, real quick, I want to jump in and say thanks to ReverbNation for connecting us.
Yes.
Yeah,
That was
for sure.
pretty awesome. You guys are on ReverbNation, so if anybody wants to check out more of your music and more of your backstory, they can go to ReverbNation.com and search K Prouty.
Appreciate it.
Prouty.
Yeah.
So where does inspiration for your music come from most of the time?
There, yeah.
Yeah. That's a good question.
I know, that's why I asked
He
it.
looks at the wife.
No. So,
Life?
you know, it's
Not
funny.
me.
So with that song, and I don't know if you guys hear it, but what I always hear, and that's why when we posted a video recently on ReverbNation with us kind of playing it live, and I kind of edited in these old clips of a Buster Keaton movie where he's kind of chasing people on this train, and I always get that feeling with it.
You pull it closer to you.
Yeah, I always get this. I didn't want to pop it.
Well, I've got it cranked up really bad right now.
Okay,
so.
yeah, we'll get closer. You know, just like the feeling of the classic old movie where the bad guy has taken the woman,
Oh, that running scene, kind of like
and
that.
he's
yeah.
chasing on the train, and that's where the whole title came from. Like faster, like hurry up and come save.
You know, right
me.
when you said that, I envisioned that train with the guy,
Yeah.
the evil guy with the mustache, and he's got the girl
Exactly.
wrapped up with a lot of rope, and the guy's
Yeah.
like, no. Yeah.
That's exactly like what I was hoping to have. With
So,
it,
what
you
was that moment of your life?
Yeah, right?
know? It's not that, you know.
Talk about that.
As he doesn't look at the wife, but the wife looks at him.
I was gonna tie her up and throw her on the tracks.
Our future.
Yeah.
You have to
hope
get in the
not.
car and drive home together. You
planning.
know?
Let's hope they'll stay together after this show.
So, you know, it's kind of fun with instrumentals because you can just get a feeling and just go from there and hope, you know, and I guess really, you know, even with vocal music, it really doesn't matter what my inspiration was, is what the listener comes away with
Yeah, the
ultimately.
interpretation.
So,
And that's one of the big differences between instrumental music and vocal music is that you give that power to the fan rather than try to tell them what it's about.
Yeah, you can
if you're a
still.
good songwriter, you can write things that convey it without being, I went home and kicked my dog. 'Cause then, I
Right.
mean, there's no mystery in what you did.
That's true. You generate the emotion like you
Yeah.
did with this song, that
Yeah.
feeling of...
But you
of
can still hear a
whatever.
story in it, like you were saying. You know, what you had a vision, and it comes through in the song.
Yep. I was looking at you to listen, not to shut you up.
Oh, you were.
Every time I look at her, she's like, should I shut up now? No, talk, girl. Talk. That's this is for us. Okay, so you picked up the guitar when you were 18, but your wife said 12. So what's that 6-year difference there?
Did you
Was that just a
tittle
confusion, or
So-
did you...
No, the other part of the story is that I'm also a professional skateboarder, so I do that stuff too.
That's where the beanie comes from.
Well, like I said, I'm actually like super introverted, so I don't even really like playing out. Like the last show we just did, it was kind of like she forced me to do it. So
Go, girl.
Yeah,
So,
was it with
I thought-
friends?
You
I
should
thought
be
this was
her.
like
It was good.
my
Yeah.
protection to
You're super-
keep the brain in.
Yeah.
And so
love it.
that's the beanie. But yeah, so I mean, I do all that stuff too, and kind of like around that age, I was to the point where I could have done more in the industry, but I saw where I wanted to be in my life and where it would be if I went that way. So I just kind of stepped away for from it for a while.
And by that you mean the skateboarding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when I just, all that same crazy energy, I just started putting into playing music and,
Yeah.
and doing those things. So, and then I, got back into it again. So I kind of split time now between the two. So
Nice.
His
So
brain doesn't turn off. So he's
that's good.
got to be doing something somewhere.
that's
Yeah.
good. That's
Keep him
good.
busy, keep him out of trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
something like that.
So, do you have a few tracks on ReverbNation? Do you have anything out for sale?
yeah, like a physical copy.
No, it doesn't have to be physical.
No,
Like
I
a
mean,
download.
everything on there is like, I do have like some of the old vocal songs and stuff are on there for free, but the new ones you can pick them up for, pennies or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's what you'll see anyway.
Yeah.
You can get it for a mere pittance, man.
A mere pittance. A hey
Starving
penny,
artist.
sir.
Yeah.
Can you spare a hey penny?
0.9%.
I think it's like $1 something, whatever, if you want to
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
download
totally.
it.
And definitely support. That way you can help him with raising his family and keeping his wife at bay.
Does your son? You said you had a son.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is-
he's
is-
18.
Is he musical or is he a skateboarder?
He is musical, actually.
He yells at the mic and thinks he's...
Oh, is he screamo metal?
no,
metal?
he's a hip hopper.
Oh, really?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Rap,
We'll see.
Yeah.
that sort of thing. But he has a music program and he plays around on it a lot. So
Oh, cool.
That's cool.
yeah, they do. They have that
That's
similarity.
That's a lot of cool things. Yeah. So do you have a musical family before you? Like your mom, dad?
No,
Any
not
relatives?
not really, but at the same time, like,
She's like,
they all listen to
no.
music a lot,
Right.
So,
Like, was there music in your household growing up?
always,
like playing
yeah,
and stuff?
yeah. So, like, I have two brothers that are older than me, so, one was listening to like 70s rock,
Yeah.
and then my middle brother was listening to all the new wave stuff. So,
Oh, really? Oh, you got it.
I'd get the
Variety.
Styx record, and I'd be, oh, what's this? And then my brother would be listening to Prince and
Yeah.
Duran Duran. Oh, what's this? And
Oh, cool.
then I'd jump in the car with my dad, and he's playing Neil Diamond and stuff like. And I'm like, oh, that's cool too. And then
So you
my
just
parents
love-
are split up. So then my mom would be playing like disco stuff, and I'm like,
Right.
I don't know, but it's kind of all right too,
Yeah,
but
right?
just whatever,
There's a place for everything.
And
So you
That's
have
news to me.
a
I
ton
didn't
of
Learn something
new.
new every day.
Yeah. What about you, Alyssa? You said you paint.
Alyssa.
I paint.
Alyssa?
Yeah, that's my
Alyssa.
name.
That's what I said. Isn't
I
it?
thought you said Leslie.
No, I
No,
did
she
not.
said-
Not even
Wow.
close.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that.
listen to it. She's right.
Thank you.
You're off the
Thank you,
rails,
Ken.
man.
Well, that's not a surprise. I've got a million things running around in here at the same time. So
Yeah, I paint. I've taught art to kids, and
Oh, awesome.
I've done some wine and paint nights and stuff like that with friends. But
Oh, very
it's
cool.
kind-
Those
yeah,
are fun.
I took a little 10-year hiatus. Raising a kid and working full time, that's a lot. So
It is a
it's-
lot.
Yeah, so now it's nice because we're both kind of exploring our passions a little bit more. So
Get a little
it's-
freedom.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Actually, it's kind of like a new lease on life. So
well, that's
I
good.
like it.
Congratulations.
I start young, then you still have a little time when they're
Right.
There you go. There you go. I'm too late
Things
for
aren't
that
all
shit.
broken when you,
Yeah.
by the time that happens.
All right. So,
I don't know. Can we hear another song?
well, yeah, I guess. We
Oh,
could
did you
do
wanna
that.
chat some
I
more?
was going to ask a question, but
Oh.
fuck that.
No,
I
You
could
could,
honestly.
yeah.
No, I,
Ask a question.
I couldn't
wanna hear
remember
your
the question.
Oh my goodness! You see what I deal with, people. You see?
All right.
He said he had a lot going on up there.
So
So
the real keys were, I thought about this because I was like, what the hell am I going to say on here? And then it made me think about it, and I'll tell you, like, one of the moments that I remember, like, really just where music like did something, and really hit me more than normal. And it's most people won't even know who this is, but we were visiting my grandma, and she had a 8-track player.
Oh.
And I'm like,
Had
okay.
ass.
So I take the big old thing,
Yeah.
you had to take 2 hands and pick it up. You stick it in the slot, and
Yeah, they were kind of big.
It's like
I don't
3
remember.
different
Yeah.
tape
You know,
sizes.
like a video. They were like a size.
I think
of a
he's
video
exaggerating
tape.
a tad bit.
it was
I know, I'm
as big
picturing
as
one
that
of those,
TV
like-
back there, and you pick, and you put the thing in there.
It doesn't take 2
it
hands. It
fits
takes
through the door.
2 people. Yeah.
And what comes on is that tremolo guitar, Everly Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Man,
Dream,
and I just
dream,
kept playing that
dream.
over and over. And my
was
brother's
it?
got his, his Duran Duran and
Yeah.
Prince, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "Man, you don't get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was it. That I was like, how did they do that? You know, I mean, I didn't know it was just a simple it was something on the amp, but man, it was just like, you know, and it wasn't until years later that I played, but that's when it really music
struck
more
a chord
important to me, you know,
for lack of a better word. It struck a chord with
I think
you.
it was the romantic side of him. Sounds like came out.
That is kind of
it is the guitar.
It actually that's a
Well, that's where the romance started with the guitar.
and it's a romantic view of music.
Yeah.
Is I think what your wife was trying to get to.
Yes.
Because it's
she's
more
trying
of
to bust my balls
a
here.
overall beauty aspect of it.
It's my chance to embarrass you.
So let's listen to another song. Actually, we're going to listen to you play another song.
Yeah. So
Even better.
It's up to you.
I say you do a new
I'm ready.
beginning.
New beginning. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my choice too.
All right. So what?
The intro.
All right. So this is a new beginning by K Prouty.
Cool.
So are you crying?
No, I'm not crying. Shockingly, I'm not crying yet. Anyway,
This one's very emotional. I can feel it.
that's why I said yet. I feel like I'm drowning, you know? Is that the end? Okay. I want to hear that. I like that organ. That's pretty.
Yeah,
There you
that's
go.
like that old tremolo. Tremolo?
Tremolo.
I think everybody pronounces it differently. That's just me to try to make myself feel better.
I know something.
Yeah.
He knows a lot of stuff.
Potato, patata.
So
Right?
Kim, Spicy and I both kind of felt this. There's a real emotional pull of that song. So where does
I saw some tears in there.
Yeah, she started out with a few.
For those of you only listening, there was a couple lighters, a couple tears. There was a lot of things happening.
A lot going on in the room here at the Futon.
All right, so
That seems very deep.
It is.
You know?
I love that song. It really does feel deep.
so really, like, it's kind of a biblical thing. I know it's not popular music, but that's life, tough.
Yeah, exactly. You're not going to like everything. Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean,
To those of you who are listening who don't like it, go ahead and turn it off
Okay.
again,
and walk away.
You can be accepted.
everyone can have their own. You just enjoy it.
Come
just
back
listen
next
and
week.
enjoy it. But what it's really about is, like, according when you read through the Bible, there's supposed to be a time when this system ends and there's a whole new world.
Yeah.
Some
Revelations.
people call it heaven, but people were supposed to be here on earth. That's why they're here.
Right.
So my idea with that was, like, what it would be like when you woke up that day after all this mess ended, and you just have that relief and, like, oh, what is this? So there you go.
The
Yeah.
flushing of the.
That's interesting because that's like kind of a apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic type of feeling.
All my
that
songs, are about
yeah?
dying. See, the woman
the
getting
wrong
run over by the
side.
train,
Yep.
A lot of traumatic.
death.
Apparently, you've
Well,
got
I mean,
something going on.
it's still metal. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah.
It's instrumental metal, so we have to have some dying in here.
Right?
That's why you have the beanie on to keep in all the
dark.
bad thoughts, right?
Yeah. It's all
And then the
edgy.
beautiful rebirth. That's
Just wear one, man. Then no one will know. No.
I did actually. I used to perform. I play guitar, drums. I do all that stuff too. And it's funny you said that. My first like big performance where I was excited and I sold tickets to. I was opening for a comedian, and I was your opening act, and I wore a beanie on stage.
Yeah,
It's weird how that it's kind of like a comfort thing.
yeah. It's a blanket.
Yeah.
I'm Linus right now.
I should have worn one. It would have helped me be less nervous.
Maybe. Well, there's
great.
nothing to be nervous about on the Dusty Futon. We're just sitting around having a conversation.
We're all
so.
friends here.
Yeah, just chill. Be yourself.
It's not as bad as I thought.
we'll be right back.
After these messages. Brought to you by.
ReverbNation.
By the way,
Yeah.
the whole thing's a lie because we're on a couch.
Shh, don't tell anybody.
It's been a point of contention, okay? Because
It's a concept.
it started out
You know what?
when the first season it was a futon.
That's the futon.
I know, but I have to tell you guys, like,
Yeah.
I've lived in Japan, and
Yeah.
futons are just like the beds.
Yeah.
They're not these things that in America are not real futons.
No.
I just want to
Really?
point that out. Yeah, no, they're not. And they don't fold up like this.
They do not.
It's just a mat with no frame.
Really?
That it's
Really?
like a thick like mattress that you can roll up
Oh.
and store away. And that they do that because everything's kind of
Like
tiny.
a padded
So-
yoga mat or something.
Yeah, kind of, But they
He just
usually,
Americanized it.
but they'll come
I'm
with
just
like
trying to give everyone a
they'll
visual.
come with their own like comforters and like matching like a
Yes.
whole set, and then in the day you just can roll it up and put it all away.
Wow.
So yeah, like the
see.
futons are
So let me just circle back for a quick sec. You lived in Japan?
Oh, wow.
I was born there, yeah.
Oh, you
Oh, it
were.
gets more
That's the
interesting.
Far East
So
thing.
That's
let's
Far
talk
East.
about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're born in Japan. Are you a military family or just
Yeah, my
people
dad
living-
was, yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, thank him for his service.
You look a
I
little
won't do
nervous.
that.
If you don't want to talk
No,
about
no.
it. This,
I know. Sorry, I'm making you uncomfortable.
No. It's no.
How long were you there?
I lived there twice in my life. So the first time, born till some age that I still don't remember. So
Okay.
sometime before 4, and then I
Little
went back from when I was 10 to 14. So
Okay.
that was cool because you remember all that, and it was
Right.
good times. Yeah.
The culture and everything. Oh, that's so interesting.
So how...
Where else did you live? Any other different countries?
Here, no, but I've been to Korea. I've been in in Europe and all,
Nice.
yeah.
How would you say those experiences have shaped your music? Because like you said, when you were growing up, your formidable years, 12 to 18 and whatnot, you were listening to all different varieties of music. So would you say that exposure, that kind of culture exposure, gave you that ability to accept all the different styles of music?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I think it does that on multiple levels, not just music. I mean, just dealing with people. Like, I mean, I honestly, growing up, I didn't even know about racism until I was almost 10.
Yeah.
And then I heard someone like,
Awesome.
"Oh, these ends," and I was like, "What is that?"
Like, what is that?
Like, why would you be like that? And but
yeah. I can totally relate. I grew up in Los Angeles, and I didn't see color or race create anything. Nothing.
I grew up in Georgia, and I still didn't feel that way. Yeah, I still didn't recognize it because it wasn't a prominent thing.
as he was taking off the hood.
Yeah.
Shh, don't tell them.
Oh, that was terrible.
So yeah, no, I think it definitely because being around and then like being over there, even though I went to a school on the base, they would you would have like cultural events. So like they had in the taiko drumming and all this stuff, and you get to see so many different things. And I actually never lived on the base the whole time we were there. So every day if I went to school, I would have to go. So I lived out there. So it was like we would watch TV, and just like a funny point is like all the stuff that's popular now, like Dragon Ball and all that was like already popular back then. And it was just like it was just on TV. Like. It wasn't anything special.
Yeah.
And random.
So
random facts.
Yeah, we call it Japanime here. They call it animation. There.
Yeah, cartoons.
Yeah, they call it cartoons.
I hear Japan's very, very clean.
Yeah, no, it's really.
What part of Japan were you in? Sasebo?
I lived in. Actually, that's where I was born, but I lived in Iwakuni.
Okay.
And that's about 20 minutes.
I was in the Navy. I've been to Sasebo.
In the slow driving that they do there.
Yeah.
In the kilometers. It's about 20 minutes from Hiroshima. So what was cool is that's when I started skateboarding was over there. So we would just get on the train as kids and go. And we actually used to skateboard in Peace Park where the building was all blown up.
That's crazy.
And like hang out, and we met all these guys, and none of us could even speak, but we would hang out all day and make plans and meet every weekend. So yeah, I mean, that was it's amazing. An experience you just would never have anywhere else. And being in the going to the museum there from the bomb.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just so gnarly. Like this,
that's crazy.
The things you see, like one that always stuck in my mind is they have a cutout piece of stairs where you can see someone's shadow burned in because the blast was so hot and bright that you can still see their shadow sitting on the stairs. Like leaning there, just like, oh, it's a good day. No.
Oh my God, so intense.
Yeah,
so.
You're gonna make me cry again.
You don't we're getting a little heavy here.
Insane. That is. But what an experience! What an amazing experience to see and be a part.
Yeah. And that is definitely something that shapes you, especially if you're an emotional person, and your music really displays your ability to be kind of empathic and feel your surroundings and feel where you come from, and you form that into your songs, and that's really cool. So
the true artist,
Yeah. How often would you say you create a song? Because I won't say make music.
Yeah, no,
create.
I think really it's kind of like it'll go in phases. Sometimes like you just are like on a hot streak, and it'll be like one after the other, and then all of a sudden it's like years.
Yep.
You have to kind of like collect.
Yeah, it's true.
Stuff,
it's true. I collaborate with my husband sometimes, and so we've written a song in 10 minutes, not local, lyrically. Not I don't play instrument, but and then he's what? But other times he's like struggling, like he'll have a little part, and he's trying to get words to it or whatever, and just, 2 years later, it's like bam! Oh, that's a killer song.
Yeah, it just
it just comes.
It's like sometimes you have to just collect, either like feed information in or go have experiences, or and then it happens.
I just like to lay down and look at the clouds, and it tells me what I need to do next.
What did you have before you lay down and look at the clouds? Without them tell you.
We're not going to talk about that.
We're not going to talk about that, but to put it mildly, I can taste the colors of the rainbow.
Just for all the kids listening out there, that was Big John talking.
That was Big John.
I neither condone or approve of what he's doing. That's his thing.
Well, it's nice to see clean musicians.
It is. It's
What do you mean by that?
I don't know.
They're like, wait a minute, you might have went too far there, Big John.
No, but your music, it's clean, it's pure, it's emotional, it's raw, it's from the heart. There's no lyrics to get in the way of the message you're trying to send with the songs, and you do everything I was going to say yourself, but you have your wife. Now, do you guys collaborate on the music itself, or does he kind of say,
Do you want the
play
real
this?
answer or you want the PC answer?
No.
That's up to you. This is your message to send.
Okay,
So
no, I feel stupid saying it, but I mean, I really do just sit there and I do it all myself, and then I show her the parts after. So that's
I'm
really
the
what
sidekick.
happens. So,
Hey, that's all right.
it's nothing
It
wrong with
still
that.
works.
That there's a lot of bands out there that operate that way. Even if
Yeah.
you see them perform for 30 years, the lead guy could still be the only person who writes the music.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
It doesn't matter.
one of my favorite bands in the freaking world is Rush, and Neil Peart wrote all the songs, the lyrics, all of them, until the end of the story. That was their
You know
agreement.
why? Did you ever listen to the first album from him?
Yeah, I know.
Man, the music is so good on that album, and the words are just like the worst Led Zeppelin knockoff ever.
It's like, I'll take care of this, right?
Yeah,
Right
so
now.
Please get someone else to write lyrics. But no, yeah,
There
I
you
know
go.
what you mean.
yeah, so lyric writing is an art in of itself, and but you've got this music thing down. That's pretty awesome,
Yeah,
man.
sounds great. Where do you?
So yeah, let's give a shout out to Ibanez too.
Cool.
Waiting for the call, buddy.
Hashtag Ibanez.
Somebody wants a sponsorship real bad.
My bass is Ibanez.
I've had
you
an
know.
Ibanez bass before.
And I'm gonna ruin my deal right now. In honesty, I always hated your guitars. Always.
Yeah?
I'm sorry, guys. Until I played one.
Oh, there you go.
I
It's
would
a little
see them
different thing.
at the store, and I'm like, whatever, you know. And
You know, it's funny
And then I
because-
saw this one, and I picked it up, and I was like, oh my god, I'm an Ibanez fan now.
Everybody I know who plays an Ibanez has that same feeling about the Ibanez because it's like
I know,
they're-
what
you,
is that?
You think of them as a bass guitar company for some reason.
Well, I mean,
Well,
to
I
be
got a
honest,
bass.
okay. So I've played SGs. We had
Yeah.
like a kind of almost matching kind of set, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've played those, like Epiphones, whatever, and Les Paul styles for years. And I would see these, and I'm like, it's just kind of like a generic Strat.
Did
Yeah.
too much.
And
to
then
you.
I played it, and I was like, damn it.
I'm going to the other side.
I've missed out on this for so long.
I could have been so much better.
Well, no, see, you didn't kill your deal right there. You just brought it
I
back
know.
up.
And it was
Right?
like,
Just that clip.
well, if Steve Vai and
Yeah.
Joe are doing it,
Yeah, they're big fans.
what am I doing wrong? And I'm like, well, I'm not playing an Ibanez. So pretty much what happened, you know, and I couldn't even play until I got one last week. No, I'm just joking.
That's how quick it changes your
Nice.
life,
If
right?
you get one of these, you'll be able to shred.
Your fingers are going to just start going 100 miles
Yeah.
an hour. Which
So,
amazes me, by the way. Your finger speed is crazy.
yeah, that's Malmsteen's fault because I
Yeah.
sat there for like a couple months just trying to play warp speed, and
Yeah.
then what happened is I would record it, and I'm like, yeah, it's really fun to do, and it kind of sounds like garbage. So I'll slow it down and just add it little pieces
Yeah.
here and there because
Yeah.
otherwise it's too much.
Yeah.
You know it's interesting how Guitar Hero works. Is your different steps for like the different levels.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That it teaches you
speed.
like this. It's a speed progression, and that's
Makes
exactly
sense.
how you get faster. Is you play it slow or you play only certain parts, and then you either speed. Like
Get
for me as a drummer, I'm a drummer, so when it comes to the rudiments, you'd start really slow. And then you bring it up and you just slowly
Right.
increase the speed. And so that's one method. The other method is what you're talking about, is where you play like one part of the note and then you just double it up or add it in, you know,
Yeah.
as you get better at playing
Yeah.
that part.
Yeah, and
So-
picking, you know, just for instance, makes a huge deal. Like a lot of people don't have good pick control.
Yeah.
And you can make anything like the simple.
I'm raising my hand with this.
I know.
Yeah, so I mean, just learning how to,
It's like, I
to
can play
pick
guitar.
fast. I mean, you can play a simple pentatonic, and you're not really doing anything, but it sounds like you're going fast.
Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah.
add a little distortion on there, and it, you know, it's
Yeah.
like, okay. But then if you start learning the others, you know, Then it's fast.
What was that?
That was fast.
What just happened?
I think that was like 35 notes right there.
I just hit anything.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. That's the secret.
That's the Ibanez.
It still sounds good. See, there you have it.
Yeah.
Ibanez all the way. For
I'm telling you guys.
Well, let's go ahead and listen to this last track you brought.
Okay, so let's do. It's going to be
Where We Made Our Stand.
Where we make our stand. Yeah.
Where We Make Our Stand. I got bad eyes.
Yeah, me too.
You want to plug me back in?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on, it's gonna pop.
That's the little things.
It's
There you
okay.
go.
Not too bad.
No, it's
I've got compression on it, so.
cool. And away we go, eh?
All right, you ready?
I think so.
All right, are you jumping right into this? It's got a lead in for you.
That's a little intro. We did that so we could have a little beer break in between.
Oh, do you want a
Nice.
beer?
I
Would
like
you
that.
one now? Okay.
No? No? Okay. Ready?
bass line.
I know. I'm watching her play.
Me too.
She's got that pick control you were talking about.
Yep. Yep.
Just hold that spotlight as long as you can. Oh, man, that was awesome. That was freaking awesome.
That's awesome.
So,
Where do you record?
yeah.
I have my own setup.
Studio. Cool.
Well, yeah, kind of. It's just like a little.
Yeah.
Freaking awesome,
Works.
man.
Sounds
It's
good.
a secret.
Well, I'm telling you, you got someone gunning for your position right there,
know.
Alyssa. You got some natural talent showing up, so that's awesome. You look really good on the bass.
Oh, thanks.
That sounded great.
She doesn't know anything. She looks great.
She She sounds great.
I wasn't going to say that. I just,
The secret is it was a backing track. She didn't really play.
Is that what that was? Okay. So all that
Milli
issue we
Vanilli
had
all
was
over
fake.
again.
Yeah.
Milli Vanilli.
I didn't play either.
No.
I hired Steve Vai. Sorry.
So where else can people find you online? Obviously, they can go to ReverbNation, search K Prouty.
ReverbNation, SoundClick, YouTube, and SoundCloud. A lot of them I don't really, I just put the stuff there and I don't do a lot of work with it. So
That's fine. That's what our fans are there to do, right?
Yeah, even with ReverbNation, I didn't, and it keeps, we're way at, I think we've been 1 and 2 since the songs came out. So I'm like, okay.
So
Well, you got
I'll
some,
take it.
you got some
Really nice.
emotion, some soul, some heart coming out of your music. So that's probably what keeps you up top.
right?
So awesome. Well, thank you guys so
you.
much for coming out and giving us an hour of your time
Thank
to
you
sit
for-
and
Thank
chill.
you.
You think
Yeah.
we're leaving?
Yeah, you are, because I got another band coming in after you.
They're like, we're not done yet.
We got him
had
started
14
now. He's all
minutes.
warmed up. He's like, I don't want to shut up.
The beanie's coming off if you give another hour. Just playing.
All right. Well, thanks again,
back
guys,
at
for coming
4.
out. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you to Ken and Alyssa of K Prouty for coming out to take a seat on the Dusty Futon, and definitely to ReverbNation for connecting us with them. Big thank you to Spicy Kim of Wicked Tone Entertainment for being the executive producer and co-host of this episode. I'm Big John, your host, engineer, editor, and producer of this production of the Dusty Futon LLC. Thank you for tuning in, and please don't forget to subscribe to get all of the newest episodes. You can find out how and share it with your friends on www.dustyfuton.com. And if you really love what we're doing here and want to support us, like Rick and our other supporters, please consider going to patreon.com/thedustyfuton and pledging to support us for as little as $1 a month. Thank you again for listening to this episode of The Dusty Futon.